Dylan from Throttle Company in Columbus, Ohio. We're talking about a 1975 Honda CB550F.
Mecum.
Now, if you follow along any of the videos I do, this is one of these pet peeves of mine that people will just call every four-cylinder an F, and sometimes they say that's distinguished between a T, which means twin, and this is a perfect example of how F does not mean four cylinders, it means sport. And this is the Super Sport. So the basic version of this would be called the K. And so the K is the regular model, the sort of base model or whatever you would call it, the original. And then they added this Super Sport. This is something they started doing. 75 actually is the first year for that. Beautiful. This has been repainted, but this is the right, at least color. It's a little bit more flaky than I've ever seen, which I like. Everyone knows I like metal flake. You do have the 4-into-1 exhaust, so that's standard on your kind of Super Sport bikes. The 750 has that. The 550 has that. The 400 Super Sport has that. So beautiful exhaust, 4-into-1. Not quite as beautiful as the 400, sort of, or not quite as recognizably iconic as that. This is something I pointed out when we did our 400 video, but in order to kick this, you have to move that foot peg out of the way. Kind of a fun thing on the Super Sport, and that's because it's a bit sportier. So the foot peg on a K model is more forward than this. This is where they decided to put it, and then they kind of had to compromise with that flip-up kickstart thing. Other than that, it is very similar to the K. So if you've seen us do this, we've done a lot of videos, or we've owned a lot of CB550s. But like I said, this is the sportier version. The handlebars, a little bit lower, riding position, different. The seat, more stripped down sporty. And I guess it's funny to say, because we're talking about sport. This is a sport bike of the 70s, but it is sort of just a flat seat. It doesn't have this, it has a little bit of an angle to it, but nothing crazy. These green gauges are beautiful. I don't know if there's nothing mentioned on the thing about being rebuilt or whatever like that, but they're just these are in great condition. In 75, you start to get this, Honda will do this, where they have this, I don't even know what you would call this, but this triangle shape. And the key moves up here. Earlier Hondas have the key all the way down here. And then you reach down there and everything's hot and you burn your hand on the engine. So this is kind of a nice thing. And a lot of people were making that change on their own by this time. This is a cool bike. You got disc brake, drum in the rear. This was about as sporty as it got for the 500s.
Mecum.
And now 4,000, you're going to get 5,000, you're going to get 6,000, you're going to get 5,600.